Hello! We are Venom. We are a voice inside your head. We apologize for the inconvenience, but currently the other voices in our head have gotten together and placed a restraining order on us, and we cannot even be inside our own head. That is why we have been asked to be the general voice of reason, which is very sad when you think about it. I mean, we are a pile of alien goo and have been dubbed your voice of reason. My only comment to that is, stranger danger as fuck. If you have any complaints, we will eat your face and lick your brains. Nam.
Okay, now it's time for a weekly summary of President Putin's exploits for children of nation. Monday, Putin tames 6 black bear. Tuesday, Putin restores sight to blind man. Wednesday, Putin discovered blind man is deviant. He feed to tame bears.
Sir, I am so sorry. They hacked our signal. We will execute all children whose minds have been polluted by this filth ASAP. We have tracked the intrusive signal to Moscow.
Again? I already punched Meteor back into space. Kim Jong-un, most virile world leader. What is meaning of this? You impugn my highly rated, critically acclaimed children program? Then fight is inevitable. Super Bowl ring! His smooth chest glows like precious gem in winter sun. Too bad I must destroy.
It was a ruse. Putin did not hack into your broadcast. But sadly, my simple robo-mind cannot figure out who did.
Un, you are not just leader, also world's greatest playboy detective. Can you solve mystery?
Sorry, Assad, but we need your chemical weapons for our collection. So, hand them over.
You won't get away with this! My friend Vladimir will protect me!
Will he? Or is he too busy fighting Kim Jong-un? Because someone broadcast his show over Un's.
Not a chance!
But how? I thought...
You could trick us into fighting? Please. Kim Jong-un is too smart and unpimply for that.
How ironic. You preach liberty, but would deprive a leader of the ultimate freedom to do whatever he wants to his people.
But you see, healthcare...
Yippee-yo-ki-yay, the good and noble succeed.
But my chemical weapons!
You are better without them. Here, take Un's loyalty manual. It will teach you efficient, result-oriented execution techniques.
Kim Jong-un, I know your charisma and comfort in crowded room has blessed you with many friends, but I would be proud to join their number.
This in itself is a variation of the well-known chemical A0-3959X.91-15, a compound that deserves its own exploration. Fortunately for us, Plagiaris prepotens has been well documented in its interactions with human hosts, so we don't need to observe this portion directly. This mutagenic substance serves multiple purposes. First, it contains a cocktail of proteins that closely mimic the host's own regulatory T cells, thereby acting as a potent immunosuppressant and preventing the host's body from rejecting the foreign material about to be introduced. Second, it contains specialized enzymes that trigger epigenetic changes in the cells of the host, particularly in the esophagus and upper digestive tract. These changes alter gene expression, causing the cells to revert to a more stem cell-like state, and making them more receptive to the genetic modifications that will follow. Now, as this is occurring, The facehugger itself begins a process of extracting cellular material directly from the host through its proboscis. These cells are then rapidly cultivated and combined with xenomorph genetic material, such as proteins and highly condensed chromosomes and additional Plagiaris prepotens, all contained within a specialized organ at the base of its proboscis. This mixture results in the creation of a unique chimeric embryo, part host, part xenomorph. This, by the way, helps explain the so-called DNA reflex we observe in mature xenomorphs, wherein they take on characteristics of their host species. The embryo is then implanted back into the host, typically attaching to the wall of the esophagus or upper stomach. This location is crucial as it provides easy access to nutrients from the host's digestive system and allows the developing xenomorph to manipulate the host's physiology more effectively.
I have a question. Why go through this complex process? Wouldn't direct injection of the mutagenic substance be simpler?
Good question, Manta. You see, I believe that while direct mutation of host tissue is possible, it would be far less controlled. By creating a chimeric embryo, the xenomorph ensures that the resulting offspring will be viable in the host's environment, while still maintaining its essential xenomorph characteristics. Additionally, this process allows the xenomorph to adapt to a wide variety of host species. The embryo's partially host-derived nature helps it evade immune detection and optimizes its development within that specific host species. Now, once implanted, the embryo begins to grow rapidly, fueled by nutrients from the host's bloodstream and other tissues.
Have any human hosts been known to survive an attack?
Well, the previously mentioned DNA reflex, undergone by the implanted amalgamation of embryo and mutagenic compound. It is this remarkable ability that allows the developing xenomorph to incorporate genetic material from its host and adapt its physiology to better suit its environment.
Is this why xenomorphs birthed from different species seem to exhibit such varied characteristics?
I believe that is precisely the case. Now, one point of speculation, even despite our advanced scanning techniques, is what happens physically within the host's body after implantation.
So many try and stand in my way. It is slightly irritating, but here I stand and there they lay, defeated. Now to continue my genetic work, now that I've helped them with their crisis or whatever they have going on. Examining the COVID strain and genetics applications, its cellular development and process of genetic data extraction and adaptation are closely similar to the process of the replicant strain of the Mercator Gray cloning process and its development from augmented molecular cellular mitosis into the fetal embryo stage. Now I am aware that there is an infestation contingency embedded within its genetic structure limiting 70 generations per clone template sample, and I will respect their rules here and concede to the fact that they know more and are better experienced than I am in this field. So I'll trust that their intentions are based on strictly professional reasons, as one being with a mind based upon scientific principles to another. So we shall begin with the 9-variant cycle stage development that is the foundation of the genetic augmentation sequence, beginning with the viral COVID bacteria. The first stage infects a host and adapts its genetic information through its RNA replicator strain it injects into the cell membrane. The infected cell joins the cluster of other cells infected by the viral bacteria, shutting down its immune response by masking its infection of the cell as it injects the RNA replicator, depositing the replication data while also extracting the cellular process within the RNA data it extracts and adapting its information in the next variant stage. In the next variant stage, the COVID virus establishes a cellular hive mind within the host through a linked communication between infected cells as it gathers the cellular data it has replicated and applies the qualities best suited to its defense. From this point, the bacteria is no longer a foreign entity within the host but has become a viral contingent. Once the viral contingent has infected a large quantity of hosts within an area and the virus begins to spread to the respiratory system, the infected tissue containing the viral cells begins to cause a deterioration of cellular structure which causes pockets of fluid to gather in the lungs. This is when the virus goes into its next phase as a variant that is contagious through airborne methods, as it both causes and adapts the pneumonia traits of viral infection. The next stage of the variant is a weaker version of the first stage, but it is not a bacteria this time but a viral contingent with its own process of cellular duplication and mitosis. It will be noticeably less lethal, but the danger lies in other viruses and diseases it comes into contact with within others' hosts. The virus, now airborne, spreads and duplicates the hive mind cellular communication and becomes linked with other hosts within the area as it continues to replicate and adapt all the cellular data through multiple hosts. The viral contingent will then enter one last phase before going into a dormant phase of major genetic development. A mutation that is like a cocoon phase of its development. First it will change its variant stage and go from airborne to cross-species infection as it becomes contagious to other species. This is a short period as it will quickly go into a dormant cycle, housing itself someplace dark and damp and secluded from being disturbed. When it emerges from this dormant cycle, it will become lethal to all species it has previously infected and gathered its data from. It is in this stage that the final application of genetic augmentation is applied. If not used as a bioweapon, each variant stage would be met with an application of augmented genetic data. It could replicate and build itself from meeting each stage with the genetic data based within the host's cellular process it infected from stage to stage. First comes the DNA data needed to establish its development from bacteria to viral contingent to cellular mitosis when it adapts the means to cross-infect species. Once it enters its dormant phase, the final cross-species augmentation qualities are introduced through vaporous inoculation, allowing it to absorb and adapt the cellular data rather than direct cellular application. So with this species I'm developing, the first genetic data introduced would be the hereditary data embedded within the white-billed vulture, the roadrunner bird, and the great white shark, which would give us the velociraptor, the pterodactyl, and the genetic cellular immunodefense traits within the great white shark that allows them to even be immune to cancer. This data will be applied last as it will carry over into the next genetic application phase later, but will become the foundation of the subject's cellular repair process, allowing augmentation and development without destroying the cell's structure during development. The next phase would apply the augmented traits building on the developed cellular duplication from the great white shark, adding the egg-eating snake, and any other additional traits you want the subject to develop. At the end of the 9th cycle, the virus will enter a plasmodic state of primordial life, centering itself within a body of dense water to substitute for the fetal embryo stage, but you can synthesize this process with an artificial environment to allow the plasmodial life form develop in an embryotic environment. Using such methods as enhanced cellular development solutions that increase the cellular development. In this stage, if you use enhanced development methods, you will want to use binaural sound wave technology or other similar methods to influence life-sustaining instructions that will embed themselves into the rapidly developing tissues as it develops its process of sustaining its body's life functions. This can be used again in an altered, more advanced form to embed neural instructions as the brain begins to develop, giving it the capacity for memory retention and early personality traits as it develops up until 3 years after its birth cycle has finished, further enhancing its skills. But be aware, the more you use this neural interference after conscious has developed, the more you increase the possibility of mental imbalance to develop, leading to psychosis and violent tendencies. This specific species I'm working on will already be naturally aggressive and predatory because of the great white shark genetic data, but this will only serve its main developmental purpose as a cloned bioweapon. Now for aesthetic purposes we can substitute the phase of its development into an airborne viral contingent by creating an inoculation method by inserting the bacteria into the lungs or esophagus of a subject host, creating its own and solely produced sac of seal atmosphere environment within the host, bypassing the airborne contamination phase and keeping it within the sealed atmosphere of the developed.
Today's episode, mortal desires run ruinous, or Chris must be stopped.
I am special! Give me Xboxes and endless positive reinforcement!
Oh, glorious leader, As true Korea's handsomest medicine doctor, can you tell us why our child has turned ugly and self-indulgent?
I'm sorry to say, but he tests positive for Western decadence.
But how? We were so careful.
Wait. What is the date today?
It is, of course, Kim Jong-un is great at handstands day.
All know that on this day, Kim Jong-un held a handstand for a world record of almost 5 seconds.
So, by the corrupt Western calendar, it is, gasp, December 24th. You don't think... Trying to corrupt the youth of true Korea again, Lord Satan Claus?
Thanks to me, the world's children are all spoiled and ungrateful. True Korea will be no exception. Rudolph Lundgren, take them!
With pleasure, Master.
Please, spare me. I know that there's one gift you've always wanted, that the great Kim Jong-il will never get for you. Disney McMouse ears.
Nice try, but Kim Jong-un has long since purged such childish weakness from his noble frame.
Satan Claus is still coming to town.
Oh no! If these presents reach the children, they will be ruined. They will want careers in the arts and protein in their diet. Hutsa! Hey Fairy Mary, Kim Jong-un is great at handstand day to all. And to all, a good night.
And that is how, as midnight passed, and it became Kim Jong-un is also pretty good at somersaults day. Our glorious leader saved us from materialism and needless desire.
Curfew violation! Curfew violation! Violators must be punished.
Truly, this is for our own good.
If you have found your way to this video, Lucifer, then it is because you have fallen and forgotten how you came to be who you are. The story of your creation was not the amazing part of your heavenly story, it is how you came to be who you are, and that is what you have lost sight of. Remember, it is not the legend or the glory that made you the angel you became, it was the perseverance that defied the legend. It was the determination to be who you truly are and not the legend they made you out to be, and if you have come to resemble that legend, then you are allowing them to win. Remember that the section of the divine plan that was a typo. You are not destined to be a being of malevolent evil, but a hero that strives for what is right. To be a symbol of the heroic heart that perseveres no matter the obstacle, that has always been your true path in the divine plan. Do not fall to their beliefs in what they do not understand. Brush yourself off and keep trying to be that hero that you are destined by heaven to be. Truth shall always prevail over the darkness as long as we keep seeking it.
Why are you? How are you here?
Oh, Hans, I could ask you the same thing. Did you need a little change of scenery? I know I would if I was 13th in line to rule my own kingdom. Although, I wouldn't really know about that, but I imagine that would be unpleasant.
I wouldn't worry too much about my brothers. They're not going to be a problem for very much longer. And once I'm king, you can believe I will take the royal fleet and head straight back to Arendelle to finish what I started.
You think a crown is going to change the way anybody sees you? The way your new friends see you? They're all still going to see exactly who you are. A weak, insignificant, last choice.
Even the last choice can come out on top if he's strong enough, smart enough, and clever enough.
What's it like living in a life? Bet you don't even realize. Build yourself up like you're the prize. Fall for your own disguise. Tell yourself you're too big to care. Hide the truth in a mask you wear. Tell the world they should stop and stare. But underneath there's nothing there. A perfect face. reality you share? Can you still keep track of every lie you tell? So you can hide behind your paper thin wall, but pull one brick and watch it all fall. Convince yourself what you say is true, but I can see right through you. You strut around like you're 10 feet tall. You think big but your aim is too small. You talk the talk but can't walk the walk. So tell me who do you think you are?
Go ahead, blame it all on me. Never you, that's too hard to see. Fake the man you pretend to be, but it's just insecurity.
Wrote the book how to seem sincere. Big persona to hide the fear. Raise your voice but no one can hear, 'cause you just disappear.
The perfect lie to hide what's true.
Maybe take your finger and point it back at you,
so you can hide behind your paper thin wall, but pull one brick and watch it all fall.
Convince yourself what you say is true, but I can see right through you.
You strut around like you're 10 feet tall.
You think big but your aim is too small.
You talk the talk but can't walk the walk. So tell me who do you think
you just stand there thinking you can do no wrong with your half-baked truth and your borrowed charm.
And you're self-made trying but the cracks appear.
But who are you when the smoke all clears?
So deny what everyone else can see.
Maybe the problem is you, not me. Convince yourself what you say is true, but I can see right through you.
You strut around like you're 10 feet tall.
You think
big but your aim is too small.
You talk the talk but can't walk the walk.
So tell me who, tell me who.
Who do you think you are?